Thank you so much for the lovely introduction, and also thank you for the interesting talk before, especially the end. I mean, I could see myself as well, like Andreas was saying, hopefully in the next 12 months, we're going to be less cautious as a German corporation, also as a German, of course, and be more open to change and be more open to actually implement things. My name was already introduced. My name is Felix Krüger, Senior Data Scientist at DZBank. Maybe not all of you know what DZBank is, so I'm just going to introduce it shortly. Basically, DZBank, or I also have a slide, so perfect. It's a financial institution, the lead financial institution for Volksbank, Raiffeisenbank in Germany. It's also part of the DZBank group. So having in their portfolio insurances, investments. So I think some of you probably know already these logos and have seen them before. Yeah, DZBank as such, as I mentioned, is a lead institution of 730 banks, Volksbanks and Raiffeisenbanks in Germany. But we also are working with corporate clients and institutions on a local, on a regional, but also on a very international level together. Of course, hoping for shared success all together and each of us benefiting from each other. Well, that's enough about my employer. So it's back to me. So this story is about me today. So I'm also going to use that time. So basically, I joined DZBank 3.5 years ago at the beginning of 2020. So right at the start of the pandemic. And as part of the data science team, I was also part of the innovation team. So we have these things called innovation labs or data labs. Basically, they're think tanks in DZBank where we help business units going from an idea to developing a use case and then developing this use case to a proof of concept. So this whole process got developed over time. It started to get more and more successful. So we did start to get traction and more people got interested in this whole thing. But at the same time, of course, now suddenly we had proof of concepts that also wanted to be operationalized, but we didn't have like a straight way of operationalization. So the data science team kind of got split in the way what topics they're handling. On the one side, people were operationalizing. On the other side, we were continuing to drive innovation. But then, of course, a lot of other people, a lot of other business departments came to us and wanted to do something with us, but we didn't have all the time. So a solution to that, or something we were thinking of, was, of course, we would have to enable these people to be more self-sufficient, to give them self-service tools in order to do things themselves if it's an easy use case. So basically my time now is kind of split, or the data science team in general at DZBank's time is kind of split between actually introducing self-service solutions, which also includes Dataiku as one self-service AI solution, and at the same time also still developing in-house application, the latest one being a version of ChatGPT that can be used within the bank, within bank-sensitive data. So basically this point where we did the split, we had a shift in our strategy inside the bank, going from AI as a very special tool for selected single use cases, and also AI driven by innovation, having to go through the whole process, which don't get me wrong, it's not a bad approach or anything, because it, of course, alleviates risk, making it less risky than just starting a project, especially with AI tools. We know you never know with an AI application if in the end it might work or not if you just start a project. But at the same time, like I was saying, we let a lot of use cases untouched because we just couldn't cater to them. So we decided we need to make a shift to, next to using AI as a special tool for select use cases, also using AI as a way to augment our co-workers' daily lives. So basically providing a self-service tool for them that they themselves are able to drive their business innovation. Because I think, as most of you know, I mean, even though we have business units and IT units, a lot of the business units are actually very capable, especially in our bank. And they more or less are able to develop their own applications if they're given a set tool and also set guidelines to do it within. So what happened, or what we came up with, was basically we first put our data into a central data lake, in this case hosted on the Google Cloud. So every department has the little space on there where the data is hosted. And then we use several self-service tools in order to make this data accessible and actually drive insights out of them. So first one being Colibra. I mean, I guess some of you know, or most of you know, it's a metadata search engine indexing all the data sets in our data lake. Then we use BI tools. One of them, for example, is Tableau. So the departments can just use the data lake, use the data in the data lake to visualize things and then drive insights out of it, making decisions based on that. And last one, of course, Dataiku for more advanced analysis. So if you want to combine data in our data lake into new data, and if you want to do machine learning and all of the more fancy things, then this would be the tool for you. So in general, like the three things we wanted to achieve with these self-service tools was, first, of course, we wanted to accelerate the value creation. Like I was saying, we had like this bottleneck being our department, to be honest. Now opening up within guidelines to the whole bank. And then the next one would be to basically be more efficient in our operationalization, and also making sure that we at the same time upskill our co-workers with the tools we provide. Okay, this is the nice animation. Yeah, Dataiku itself. So basically, you could have seen it before in this triangle, but basically we connect via Dataiku to our central data lake, or like the consumer, the co-worker, in the end, a business unit is going to do it, taking data, transforming data, and then also being able to put data back into the data lake for others to enjoy, others to use. Of course, this is all within like strict governance rules. So it's not just, you cannot just like access everything, you know, there's a very stringent set of rules, as with any financial institution. But at the same time, like I said, so you can get data from the data lake, give it back, but you can also transform data to internal applications. So for example, you have certain data sets within your lake, but also there's another group that has something interesting and you want to test it out. So what do you do? Via Colibra, you shop the rights to this other group. Then you import everything in Dataiku, you connect it, and then you could use Tableau to visualize the new information you have, if that's something you would want to do. So basically giving you like certain set of tools, and to be able to, within guidelines, drive insights out of them. So I think now the most interesting part is coming up, because I think we are very different to many other Dataiku customers. At least that's what we always hear from our Dataiku colleagues. And also it does take some time for us, I mean, as a bank and also as a very cautious bank, to actually implement things. So maybe you guys remember the timeline. It's been like 2 years already. I mean, we do have use cases on the platform, so please no worry about that. But it did take us some time to actually like talk everything through, make sure that all the stakeholders are involved and also accept what we're doing. But I think we came up with something really cool, because instead of just having an instance for certain teams, we actually have the whole thing automated. So basically, if I, as a business analyst, I want to use Dataiku because, for example, Excel is just not fast enough anymore. I mean, we all know it, right? These huge Excel files, a lot of macros, Power BI calculations in there. I mean, at one point, they're just not going to cut it anymore, you know? But, I mean, with Excel, you just open it and you do something, right? With Dataiku, like you install an instance and then you do something, but not within a bank, you know, like all the data, you have to transport it somehow there. So we built Dataiku in a way that within one day, we can supply you with a project within a certain scope that also has access to all of the productive data that you are allowed to access. So how does this work? So basically, as a data analyst, you would start, or as a business owner in general, you would start in our internal software shop. So the first thing is like you have to decide, what do I want to do? What do I want to achieve? Do I want to just experiment? Then you would choose a sandbox. So basically you get a Dataiku project where you can test things out, you can connect to your productive data, but you cannot operationalize anything. And it's also time limited. So it's just for you to try your use case. The other option or the other type we currently offer is a productive environment. Basically, I mean, if you know Dataiku, you have design nodes, automation nodes. So that's basically what it is. You have a design node, you also have an automation node next to each other. So you can actually set things live, you can build scenarios, you can run things. And of course, you can also transform from a sandbox to a productive live environment. These are two types of projects we have currently. We have more in the works for more advanced use cases, but it's just like a simplification for you to show how it works. So like we were saying, what do? You basically start by going to the software shop. You enter a few details in the form, your cost center number, what do you want your project name to be, and also who do you want to have access to your project. So what happens once you order it? It goes directly to your cost center, so like someone approves it. And once that happens, business roles are automatically created. So every Dataiku project has a set of certain business roles assigned to it that are automatically built that give you different access levels within Dataiku. So some give you full access, some give you view access, some give you only access to the underlying data, basically making it secure. Yeah. Once this is done, we have provisioning scripts who are creating the Dataiku project, creating all the background connections to GCP, creating all the file systems and everything. And once that's done, like the 3 users you put in your order form get assigned the business role, and then you can start working. So ideally, of course, depending on how fast your boss is gonna, yeah, I mean, my colleagues are laughing, but basically, ideally, depending on how fast your boss is gonna say, okay, the cost is fine, I'm just gonna do that, you can scale this up within 24 hours. So within 24 hours, you have a Dataiku instance where you can work with your own data in a secure manner, which is pretty cool, at least from my understanding after having done it 2 years, yeah. Anyhow, of course, in the online shop, you can do much more. You can also order certain Python environments with a certain version or whatever version you want. You can order R environments. You can order integrations, so making sure that your data is not only delivered back to the data lake, but also delivered to other applications. So it's all basically made very simple for our analysts to be able to use Dataiku most efficiently and also very quickly. Yeah. We've been working on this for, I think, the better half of 2021. We just tested everything out. For the better half of 2022, we basically implemented this whole process, talked to all the stakeholders. And at the end of 2022, we first opened it up. And now we already have quite a lot of traffic on it. Very different departments, of course. Yeah, some ESG reporting, some regulatory law, capital markets. So it's not like we targeted anyone specific. Basically, these are early adopters. These are people who are very tech savvy, who already pushed years ago. They want some tools to do things that go well above like what Excel and anything else we had to offer was capable of. And they started basically with the first use cases. We're also using it in our innovation lab. So of course, we're not just stopping there. I mean, we love that everything is running right now, but we're not going to take a breather, gonna work hard, and we do have some things we want to achieve within the foreseeable future, I would say. So the first thing is, of course, I was just mentioning most of the use cases we have, they are by rather technologically advanced business analysts. So we want to build up a community there, but also these use cases and other colleagues basically seeing the impact they can have. Less technologically advanced business analysts are also asking, so how am I able to use this? So how am I able to also get this working? So basically what we're going to do soon is start internal training sessions, build that up, Another thing would be that we are trying to implement Dataiku into more established processes, so making it a strategic tool, so also kind of, I guess, forcing people to use it more. And then also making a lot of like Gen AI use cases, so advanced analytic use cases available through Dataiku. So basically, when you remember, like at the moment we were like diverging, so we had like two streams going on. This is this is us trying basically getting these streams back together, because in the end, the tools we provide, they're not supposed to only be for a certain kind of developer or employee within the bank. They're actually supposed to be for everyone. So even coders are encouraged, of course, to use the platform in the future. And last but not least, we also want to add new projects. So we were saying like we only have a sandbox and a productive environment. We want to scale this up to be able to use Dataiku to cater towards high availability applications. So send the data there, and also find a way how IT can take over Dataiku project that might be too complex for a business unit or might be just too important for them to just be running by them alone solely. I think that's pretty much it. I think we have a few more questions, so or we have a few more minutes for questions. So if any one of you would like to ask anything, then feel free. Yeah.